wanted to tell a little bit of a story of how today's gone so far. We started off the day, just dropped off our buddy Nathan at the New Orleans airport, went over to the nearest marina we could find, because as you may know already, we're on the market for a sailboat, 45, 50 footer, pretty good condition, so that we could take it onto the ocean and continue this journey of sharing peace and love with the world, and kind of teaching people that living your dreams is totally possible, right? But we just showed up at the nearest marina to the New Orleans airport and didn't know anybody there, just walked around, started talking to people and seeing if there was any conversations that would lead to something. So we talked to the first guy. He led us to talk to the fuel guy who talks to boats as they fill up. We talked to the fuel guy. He sent us over towards the brokerage. On our way to the brokerage, we came across a sailboat that was for sale. So we called the number on the sailboat, and fella told us that, some details about the boat. Told us that his son would be out there shortly to give us a look around the place, and we got onto the boat. He offered to take us out sailing. This really, really friendly guy. It's probably a little more beat up than we're looking for, so we're not going to buy it. But continuing on the journey, we just, from there, we had no more opportunities in front of us, right? No more possibilities, no more boats that we knew were for sale. And honestly, what I love about this journey so much is that as we travel, as we move around, everything we come across is a microcosm of how life kind of works. Like in any given moment in your life, you look into the future and you don't know what the hell's going to come your way. You hope it's good, but how do you ensure that it's good? Well, in the same way, when you're traveling and when you've got a worthy pursuit and when you've got a mission, like, for example, like we do now, like looking to buy a boat and don't know where it's going to come from, there's no way to know what the next step is. But what you can do is control the controllables. Pull the levers that you can in any given moment. And what levers that we can control are being as genuine and loving to every stranger that comes our way. And when we do that, all of a sudden they open up. And we were talking about how life is kind of like a video game yesterday with a buddy who we did a Facebook Live with. And it's kind of funny now that I've been thinking about life being like a video game. It's almost like I just come up to somebody and just keep loving them, just keep pressing pressing the A button over and over again with them. And eventually something beautiful comes out of the conversation. Like they give us the codes to go get into a specific part of the harbor where we are now to go look at some more boats, or they let us into the yacht club where we get a free buffet, which we just left, with a couple of drinks too. It's like totally just like genuine, good, loving people that help you out and want the best for you. And honestly, that's just an example, because in every moment, really what's noteworthy here isn't the story, isn't that we've met a lot of nice people in the yacht club and everything like that. What's noteworthy is how we got to that. What's noteworthy is really the skill of interacting with people in a way where you don't care what you get. You're just there to talk to them, to love them, to make them feel good, to ask them questions, get them to talk about themselves. Because just love them in that moment, and then eventually they want to reciprocate. They say like, so, what are you guys doing here? What are you looking for? What are you hungry? Whatever. And in that way, your life can be so much more lubricated and so much more simple and free and beautiful, because you're not doing it to get, you're doing it to give. And then the accidental response, the accidental repercussion, I should say, of giving is always getting. Just like inhaling creates exhaling. And the trees exhale, we inhale. It's completely unnatural if you don't allow the giving and the receiving to all happen. So when you just start with giving, don't be addicted to giving, right? Be open to receiving. But when you just lead with giving, you don't have to worry about receiving. It's just a law of the universe, a law of reciprocity, that it's going to come back to you. And so the only trick from there is being open to receive. And that's probably a whole separate video, because I struggled with that for a long time, and it's kind of detailed on how to let that all in. But man, what I've really started to find through travel really is just how powerful it is to give your full attention, your full love, your full appreciation to every stranger that you show up to. And it's an opportunity. You talk about creating possibilities in your life. An opportunity every time you meet somebody you've never met before. You can be whoever the hell you want to be. You can be the most current, present, growth-oriented, developed person that you could ever imagine being, because there's no shared history there. You don't have to be like the person you used to be. You don't have to be like you were when you were a kid. You don't have to be, what somebody else expects you to be. You could just be the most loving, like ridiculously, unabashedly loving, open, well-spoken, honest, trustworthy person that that anybody ever met. You know, you have the opportunity to just pretend to be that for anybody that you meet. And in that way, you create unlimited possibilities for yourself, because when you give just with reckless abandon, just whatever you have, if you're holding a piece of bread, give it. If you're talking about something that you have some knowledge on, give away some free knowledge. If you're talking, if you know somebody that they might be interested in meeting, like, just always think about how you can give something, and then eventually you end up fed with a free buzz, walking around a boat yard with a couple of leads to buy boats, and wonderful people who you have connections with now for the rest of your life. So I mean, it's like, the secret isn't in luck. The secret isn't in I don't know, just stumbling into the right situation. The secret is in creating those possibilities through just honestly, earnestly, truthfully, wholeheartedly loving people and giving whatever it is at your disposal to give. And in doing so, you'll create all the possibilities that you need. It's what's gotten me here. It's what's gotten my entire career. That's how I launched my entire career as a coach and as a speaker. And honestly, that's just all the world needs, is for all of us to pay a little bit more earnest, truthful attention to each other, no matter who it is, no matter what you feel like, no matter, you know, where you are in your day or your life or anything like that. So if you're watching this and you've gotten to this point, I'd love to hear how an example of that has happened, where you had like an immediate, heartfelt, beautiful connection with somebody, and it didn't even make sense that you did, but it was just so beautiful. Like those tiny little conversations that turn into a whole lot of love. So share an experience like that if you have one. They're always good to hear. Gives everybody faith in humanity. Besides that, take care. Have a good rest of your day, my friend. Bye-bye.